Things seem to be leaking left and right overall when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2, and today we're going to be talking about a number of things that go over it. With another look at the dock, we've got some more information on the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons that have been confirmed. We've got a big rumor, you guys are going to want to hear this one, on what Nintendo could be planning for a social site when it comes to Nintendo Switch, and some other information as well when it comes to a big development studio continuing to bleed talent. But before we get into all that, what's good everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my vids as soon as they drop. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this new information. Shout outs to Laura Kate Dale over on Twitter. She had some new information to share and a photo of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. So she said this on Twitter: "This is a new photo I have received from a trusted source showing a Switch 2 dock featuring visible input and output voltage information. Other information obscured. Obviously, you don't want it to track back to you. In addition, I have learned that the Switch 2 ships with a 60-watt charger for use with the dock." She also follows that up by saying, "As a result, to my understanding, the current generation Switch main charger cable won't be suitable for use powering the Switch 2 when docked." She also answered a few different questions from people in the chat, and one person asked, 42-watt output, that's a lot. Is it a good sign of the dock performance? And she responds by saying, "Does seem to suggest high power usage when docked, likely to support docked image upscaling." Now, for those who don't know, or if you're just getting new to this whole situation, the Nintendo Switch 2, when docked, just like the Nintendo Switch 1, should be able to open up some clocks, open up a bit more power in the system, and allow there to be higher resolution, AI upscaling, good AI, not the bad stuff, not the generative, good AI upscaling to where you can take an image, which Nintendo did patent. You can take, like, let's say, a lower resolution image, and you can upscale it to look better naturally built in to the system. So this dock with the wattage and power, you're going to need that extra power compared to how it runs in portable mode. And obviously in portable mode, they're going to want to have a lower resolution image, and they're going to want to save battery life. Now, there was some other information, unverified of course, from another content creator that stated that the battery is going to be about the same as the Switch version 1 or slightly worse depending on the game, because there's more of a power draw. So there's more information coming out, but I will look into that and we will talk about the power wattage and all that once we probably get a bit more when it comes to information from other sources. Yeah, but overall this dock looks like it's very believable in terms of it. It looks just like some of the other information and some of the other docks that we've already seen being leaked, some of the renders that are out there, people that have talked about it. So this seems very real overall. The rounded edges on the dock definitely taking the Nintendo Switch OLED type of design, and I would say modifying that a bit, kind of putting the best of the designs that they've done for the docks that they do have between the Nintendo Switch regular and the Nintendo Switch OLED, and then also adding to it as well to make it look a bit different. So I think that this is all good. I know that people are really, I would say, anticipating what's happening here. Some people are getting really upset in terms of Nintendo not revealing it at this point, but I do think that the reveal is coming up sometime in January. Now, some people say that, hey, we might not get anything until the very end of March, and that's definitely possible, but I do feel, because Nintendo has a Nintendo investor meeting at the beginning of February, that they probably will have something lined up before then, and then they will take questions and everything in February, because I think that if they don't have anything by February, man, the investors are just going to be blitzing them with questions as we get closer and closer to the reveal. We also have Pokemon Day. I talked about this in a previous video of mine. Pokemon Day is coming up in February as well. Pokemon Legends ZA, there has been no information on that game. I'm guessing that they have a Nintendo Switch 2 version that they want to show when it comes to the actual game and the real graphics of it. Metroid Prime 4, we've gotten nothing else on that game. We've gotten a blank 2025 release window. That could also be Nintendo Switch 2 stuff. So I do think that Nintendo is holding a lot of cards close to their chest. and they will be revealed. We're in January, we're getting into the middle of January going here, and I do think that something will be happening very soon, especially with a lot of these leaks. If we've got some maybe third-party developers or people already leaking some of this stuff out here when it comes to Switch docks and also controllers, manufacturing leaks and all that, it is coming up and it is coming very soon. So what do you guys think about this? You can let me know in the comment section. Next up, I want to go back to a story that we covered before about the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con leaks and about the Joy-Cons itself plus a new feature, and we've got a confirmation actually true when it comes to those leaks. Now, a few days ago, we shared the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con photos leaking from a Chinese social media platform, and it showed the two-tone black on the top and the bottom, and then in the middle you have a different tone color. This one was blue overall, and it looked incredibly real. These look like the real pics, but we were still saying, hey, look, it's a rumor right now, you don't know, but it looks super real. But here's the thing, guys. The update is in, and the photos of the Switch 2 Joy-Cons have a system serial number that is valid by Nintendo's check warranty page. So those Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons that we saw, you guys are seeing it, those are actually valid because it goes right back to Nintendo's page. That is a real leak of the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons. Now, I wanted to go back to it. Now that we can confirm it's a real leak, there is that small little, I would say, like square that you see right next to the magnetic clip at the top there, in between the SL button, or right after the SL button there. What is that? People have talked about that being an optical mouse or type of like infrared thing to where you can move or drag a cursor to where you can play games in certain types of ways or navigate a web page, which I think that's going to be very interesting on the next topic that we're discussing. What could that be for? What are the uses? Well, I would say this, a game like Mario Maker could absolutely use something like that to where you turn it on its inside there and like you move it just like a mouse. I know I saw one of my friends on Twitter, he was like, hey, maybe we see something like Mario Paint released on the virtual console. Something like that could be very real for this type of application. There are a lot of different things that you can use it for. Let's say you're actually browsing the eShop or something and you want to use it like a mouse overall. There could be God games, or there could be other types of RTSs. There are a lot of uses for this type of thing. Now, me personally, I probably wouldn't be using it too much outside of stuff. I'm not big on Mario Maker. I did love Mario Paint back in the day. I thought that game was goated. But at the end of the day, like, I usually don't play, mouse and PC type of stuff. But I do think that there will be applications for this in other types of ways. And it's one of those little gimmicks or one of those little extra things that I think that would be pretty cool to have in there for people that want to use it. Or even, like I stated, RTS games, or maybe even stuff like Fire Emblem could be able for a strategy RPG to pick your units and move them where you want to with a mouse in a easier type of way. So there's definitely uses for this type of thing. I know that the Lenovo Legion Go, it uses something like that as well, which the Lenovo Legion Go, that's like a complete copy, a really high powered copy of the Nintendo Switch. So I can definitely see them doing something like that, in addition to having some other new features built into these new Joy-Cons, maybe HD Rumble 2. That's something. Obviously, they have the bigger buttons here. We can see what else they're doing with the analog sticks. There's been rumors about them putting some new types of technology into the analog sticks as well to have some new sensations when you're using the analog stick in certain types of ways. So I do feel that Nintendo is going to surprise us a little bit with some of the new features inside of this Joy-Con, which I do think that will also be built in somehow to the new Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, which we haven't gotten any leaks for anything like that so far, but I'm looking forward to seeing if or when they do revise that Pro controller. I can see them putting some new features into that controller as well and being able to use that for the new Nintendo Switch 2 games as well. So what do you guys think when it comes to both of the leaks that we just talked about here? Let me know, but I want to get into something that's a little bit more of a huge rumor. The last two things that we talked about, these are more proof confirmed Nintendo Switch 2 things. This one's definitely more of a huge rumor, but I do see Nintendo doing something like this because of a lot of the stuff that they've already done. So let's talk about it. There was a rumor on the Reddit page with the Nintendo Switch 2, and it states that Nintendo is launching a built-in social media for the Switch 2 called VidMio, so kind of like videos plus me's you, so VidMio. I think that's the name that they're trying to go for there. So it says, I don't want to share too much in how I got this information because it could lead to someone getting into serious trouble. That right there, I just want to interject real quick. That right there is already the type of thing that's like, okay, yeah, like it's probably fake. When they start saying stuff like that. Anyway, let's get back into it. Essentially, this will be somewhat similar to what Miiverse was on the Wii U. Users can share screen recorded content and make posts. I haven't seen it, but apparently the app icon looks similar to that of YouTube, but it's green. The app is designed in the style of TikTok, apparently, with a lot of vertical scrolling to view content. Yes, I am serious, LOL. There will be a direct messaging feature and community options for a feeling of social connection. I have also been told that the C button is related to the community features of this app. That's all I really know about this thing so far, but supposedly VidMio will be available day one on Switch 2 with a stripped down mobile phone version releasing sometime later. Now, once again, this could be completely false overall, but the reason why I'm sharing it is because it seems like something Nintendo could do. Nintendo has already done a smaller version of this, but built into specifically certain games. So for example, the Smash World, for example, or the Splatoon stuff that they have, where you can share clips, you can get different items, you can see different posts, you can see what your friends are doing. There are things that Nintendo that has already done just with specific games on the app, the NSO app that you have on your phone and everything. So could I see them taking this a bit further with the C button that's already been confirmed to be on the new Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons? The C button to where you can connect and you can see other people's stuff, especially with how they removed, or more like Nintendo removed, the feature to post your gameplay clips to Twitter because of Elon's situation where he's charging so much for the API. Microsoft and Sony also removed that feature as well. So could I see them doing something like that with the Nintendo Switch 2? Absolutely. Now, here's another thing. Microsoft and Sony already have something like this. Not only do they have something like this, but it's actually built into the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 to where you can see people that are streaming the game, see what people are posting, and on the app as well. Microsoft has it to where you upload one of your videos, you can share them on your social media, on your phone. Like, it's really easy to do. It's like a little side feature that both Microsoft and Sony already have that they don't really talk about too much, but it's available. So could Nintendo do something like this as they go more into their apps and into other social type of sharing? Absolutely. You look at the Nintendo Switch Online, you look at what they're trying to build with having the music player and some of the other things. There's been rumors about potentially launching their own video player as well. So that's the reason why I share this. I share this because I do think that Nintendo could try to do something like this. And now with better hardware, with more RAM, with more technology, and with the knowledge that they gained from the situation of Miiverse, where they're putting it on the 3DS and the Wii U, these systems just weren't equipped to be able to handle the social media quickly and fast and efficiently enough with the hardware, with the amount of hardware power that they actually had. I think that now with the Nintendo Switch 2, you can do this and you can do it a lot better, because I've seen the whole Smash World and all that, and it's actually pretty nice overall. The Splatoon app and going through it, it's actually really nice as well. If you combine all of that together and then broke it up by your friends or what you can see and all that, and the vertical scrolling TikTok, cool videos, things like that, I think that it could be an okay side thing to have on the Nintendo Switch 2. And actually, I would say fix some of the issues that some people have, having messaging built in there and all of that. So we'll see what they do. That C button on the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con, it means something. It's gotta mean something. And this could be it, or some form of this could be it as well. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. Next up, we're gonna talk about Bayonetta Origins. The director, Abibi Tenari, has actually left Platinum Games, so the bleeding of talent continues at Platinum Games. Tenari updated his LinkedIn profile recently, confirming the news. He spent nearly a decade at Platinum Games before exiting in November, but is now with the PlayStation studio Housemarque. Now, Housemarque, for those who don't know, they made some awesome games. They actually made Returnal, one of my favorite games on PlayStation 5. Now, Tonari updated his LinkedIn profile recently, confirming the news. Tonari's biggest role at Platinum was undoubtedly Bayonetta Origins, but he was also involved with several other titles. Star Fox Guard, he helped design the asynchronous multiplayer mode, worked on enemy design and UI specification. One of his earliest roles was working on the Japanese to English localization for Bayonetta 2. Platinum Games took a big blow last year when Hideki Kamiya left the company. Recently, Kamiya announced his new studio, Clovers, and will be teaming up with Capcom on a sequel to Okami. Many have been keeping an eye on Platinum Games as of late following the news. There's been talk of other talent leaving Platinum Games as well, but nothing is confirmed at this time. Still, it's worth mentioning that Astral Chain director Takehisa Tura, Metal Gear Rising director Kenji Saito, and Anarchy Reigns director Masaki Yamanaka no longer have PG on their social media profiles, so it's possible they could be departing as well. And yes, if they removed the PG on there and you haven't heard anything from them at this point, I definitely think that they've probably left. The big blow for me would be Takehisa Tura. He was the driving force as one of the directors for Astral Chain, and I really want to see a sequel. So Platinum Games recently talked about the 15th anniversary of Bayonetta, and they left a message, and in that message they said that Platinum Games is going to continue to be going strong. So it looks like they're going to have new leadership, new people step up, new people kind of making different things. But I feel that Platinum Games, the best thing for them right now at this point is to really just work on some remasters, and kind of get people to say, okay, we're still here, and give people some experience in terms of directing different things. I think that an Astral Chain remaster for the Nintendo Switch 2 should be greenlit. I think that a Bayonetta trilogy remaster should be greenlit as well. I think that if you get those two things out early or somewhat early in the Nintendo Switch 2 life, that'll get people to get some cash flow into Platinum Games, and then maybe they can work on some other things and see where they're going to go from there. But it doesn't seem like they're going to shut down. Some people were saying, hey, look, they can be shutting down pretty soon. And I even said, hey, man, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case despite a mass exodus of talent so far. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. But what do you guys think overall with everything that we discussed? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next one. Peace.